a conversation where you thought was actually a really awesome conversation with a customer, with a prospect, that really led nowhere? You know, you thought you were delivering all the key points you wanted to deliver, that you needed to deliver to move from one part of your sales sequence to the next, to the next, to the next, only to find out like nothing's really happening. The conversation goes stagnant. You know, there's no real result or next steps at the end of the conversation. You get that crickets during the conversation. You know, all of this stuff. You know, it's not like you walk in and everybody's clapping for you, right? We're in sales. So when we walk in or when we deliver a message, one thing that we really, really got to make sure of is that we deliver the right message to the right person. You know, when this came to my attention, it opened my eyes to so much because I started thinking to myself, how many times have I been involved in a conversation where I was delivering one message and the client was looking for another or the prospect was looking for another? I mean, think about it in any area of life. How many times do you get involved in a conversation where you're delivering a message of, hey, you know what? I know, hypothetically here, I know, COVID is really bringing a lot of people down, but I'm up it. And I think you really should take a different look and just, you'll give a different perspective to what's going on and what positivities does it have. And you're delivering a message of hope, of energy, excitement. And the person you're with is, well, I don't believe in COVID. So that message of hope, excitement, and just be careful what you're doing, put a mask on when you should, is not being delivered to the right person. So it's the wrong message, the right message in your mind, but it's delivered to the wrong person. In their mind, it's the wrong message delivered to the right person. You see how that shifts a little bit? So if you knew that, how would you shift that conversation in order to really, you know, meet the desire, the goal, the objective of said conversation? So, what I want to do is I want to run this through to you, something like this. So, let's say, for example, um, this is your customer, and your customer's flag that they hold is all about, let's use a simple one, all about money. So, really, in essence, the reason they purchase is about money, right? This is their sole reason for purchasing any type of service in logistics and transportation. Everything they do is focused on cash and how it works. Now, let's say, for example, you go out and you say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliver a message of value. This is your message, and theirs is money. What happens? You make the phone call, you say, hey, it's Dan calling from High Performance Logistics Sales. And I just wanted to talk to you today about how much value I can add to your network. And I know this is going to be a pretty crappy sales job, but I'm just going to go through it. How much value I can add to your network. It's unbelievable. I've had customers that have been in the exact same business as yours, and we've done X, Y, Z. We've also managed and helped them accomplish A, B, C, D, E. So you're stacking all of these accomplishments than you've had. And this person's listening to you. You're saying, okay, yeah, it's great. It's understandable. Great, right. How much is your price? And you're going, okay, but no, there's value. Or vice versa, you've got a sales manager or you're a sales manager and you have salespeople coming to you going, this guy just doesn't see the value in what we're doing. What if you were to talk price message with him instead of value message? What if you were to speak their language, right? That's what we need to do. Because the thing is here, when we actually go into a situation like this, you call Mr. Prospect and they talk all about money. This is their main reason for buying is money. And you sit there and you talk value. What happens is, if you look at it like this, they're on this side of the cliff and you're here. Now, this is the gap that you need to fill. You need to actually build that bridge over that gap. And you cannot build a bridge if you're not talking the same language. It's impossible. You will never connect. You'll connect on tidbits and then you'll lose. So, halfway through your bridge, if you do not connect, you're just going to see yourself going down. That's just the reality of how this all works. So, some suggestions I have in a little framework that I have for you in order to really start incorporating the right message to the right person is very simple. I want you to look at a few things. So, number one, I'd really like you to start the conversation with understanding or getting to know why they buy before you start into your pitch, right? And I'll put some quotations here because I'm not very keen on the whole pitch thing. However, before I start any conversation, I ask things like, what is your primary and secondary reason for adding or switching a service provider? If you were to choose the two top things that you would want out of a supplier, what would they be? Like questions like this. So what that does is that gives the prospect an opportunity to answer. So then I can then say, so for example, say this, I've got, one, two, three, say just for example, four different ways I can come at this customer with a message that's deliverable to what he's looking for. So if I have those four ways, because I've tracked, I've marked down, I've kept my data, I understand where I can speak what and how I can speak it, then what happens is when we go into that conversation and we say, hey, what's your primary and secondary reason for adding or switching a service provider? And the prospect comes back and he says, well, you know what, Dan, I am all about price and I'm about value. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely eliminate the last two options of the conversation. I'm going to go back to him and I'm going to talk all about costing, price versus cost. I'm going to talk to him about value and where the variation in between is. And when I do that, it's very simple. This bridge is then built and it becomes bigger and stronger. And every time we have that conversation, the bridge gets bigger. And once that bridge is a size that we can move across with the business, there's the close. See, so the question that I have for you is based on what you're really looking for in a client profile, right? So let's go back to long term high performance growth in your business, okay? Especially in today's day and age. So many people are just taking any opportunity that comes their way because their numbers are down. I'm going to challenge you on this. And a lot of people that manage salespeople or that are in charge of profits at a company are going to say, Dan, you're absolutely freaking crazy. Why would you tell people this? Because I care about your business for the long term, right? Short term, anybody can close business. You just offer a cheaper price until the next person comes in and gives a cheaper price, then you lose the business. So if you want short term ebbs and flows that continuously do this, then sure, go after that. What I'm talking about is long term high performance. That takes a different type of sell, that takes longevity, and that takes dedication from you, the professional sales rep. What I mean by that is this: what is your number one thing that you would not want to budge on with the client profile? So I'll give you an example. Mine is I want to be a resource. I actually want to be a resource for all of my customers. I just don't want to be the guy they say, oh, well, if you need $50 off, call Dan. I want to be the guy they go to and they say, hey, I got this new program or I got this new customer. Kind of this is how it is. Based on where it is, the shipping is killing me. Is there anything we can do? I've done that for plenty of customers. We've moved from, B trains to rail and submitted stuff over to the rail lines, got it approved by their safety department, created SOPs, built the systems and deployed it to the customer and saved them so much money. It didn't affect margins, it didn't affect the overall business, but I was able to help them achieve their goals. And in the end, that's really the goal, isn't it? For every sales rep for long-term customer attainment is to help them achieve their goals, their mandates over and over and over again. It begs the question, understanding why they buy. It'd be a great idea for you right now, heading into Q4, like mid Q3 and heading into Q4, to say to the customer, Mr. Customer, what are some of the new mandates? What are some of the new goals? What are some of the new things that you need to accomplish that maybe I can help with? Now, you want to talk customer attainment? That's customer attainment. And what we're going to do is we're just going to finish off this framework real quick because I know we're almost at the 10-minute mark and I'm trying to keep these, pretty much under that 10 to 12-minute mark. So the first number one thing, and this is so critical here, is why the customer buys. Once you understand that, then you can deploy certain pitches or strategies to give them the information they need or to have the conversation they need that directly connects with them. So this becomes a two-way street. Okay. The second thing that I want you to look at or want you to do is I want you to document the answers. Now, the reason I want you to document the answers is because next week we're going to talk about the power of prediction. And I'm going to give you a little precursor to it because this is, I mean, when you want to go from, a salesperson to a pro, it's all about prediction. Predicting the questions, predicting the rebuttals is where you get real good in your sales because once you document answers, you can actually, in your off time, kind of formulate what would my response be if I was hit against the wall with that right now. A lot of the times I hear it over and over and over again from salespeople. Yeah, I just got to a point where he asked a question, I got stumped. And I'm like, awesome. That right there is your next phase of growth. How do you not get stumped? You document, you document, you document. They asked this question, or they asked me this. I paused for 4 seconds. I answered this way. And a lot of the times, and you've been there because I think we've all been there, you're like, damn, I shouldn't have answered like that. If I had to do it over again, I'd say this. And we all do it. It's human nature. But if you document that and then practice that, the next level will be outstanding. So just think of that for these next couple of days, and we're going to come to you later on this week, probably Friday, with another live training session, which is going to talk about the power of prediction. But what I want you to do is take these two frameworks, this two-piece part series. Why do they buy? Really dig in deep. Figure out 1 to 5 different angles to come in at with a customer to share anything about why they buy. Right? I guess that's probably the best way to put it. Then document, document, document. And then the next time we're going to talk about the power of prediction. So this is going to build into the next session. So I hope you show up. Again, my friends, until next time, go out there, make every call educational and crush your sales. And remember, you can only move ahead with delivering the right message to the right person. Take care.